Divison in a bout scheduled for 10 rounds. 25-year-old Juan Buendia, born in Durango, Mexico, moved to Detroit, where he launched his 56-fight amateur career. Buendia turned pro 2.5 years ago. His style, all about aggression. He looks to hunt down the weak, has a vicious left hook to the body, powerful uppercut, and is difficult to discourage. He stopped his most recent opponent in 1 round, but that was almost 6 months ago. Juan Buendia, 12-0, 7 KOs. Steve, take us behind the numbers.
Well, new friends, Nick, for Juan Manuel. Buendia has fought only 45 professional rounds, but since hooking up with trainer Robert Garcia, he's benefited from sparring in California with Rolando Reyes and Victor Ortiz. Average opposition. Buendia's beaten opponents with records like 9-0 and 10-1, but those fighters have not been particularly successful after losing to him. And pressure, not power. Buendia stopped 5 of his 7 most recent opponents. He gets his KOs as much with constant pressure as with punching power.
Alexis Divison is from the Dominican Republic. He had 79 amateur fights and turned pro 4.5 years ago. He won his first 16 in the Dominican and then got stopped in 4 rounds in his American debut last year against former amateur standout Larry Mosley. Divison's coming off a disqualification loss for dirty fighting in February and took this fight on short notice. As for style, he can let an opponent come to him and counter, but will brawl, especially after he gets hit. Alexis Divison, 16-2, 13 knockouts. What's behind those numbers, Steve?
Divided by time. Since making his U.S. debut, Divison has been terribly inactive. He fought only once in 2005 and has gloved him up only once this year. Bad to excellent. In the DR, Divison fought mostly fighters with awful records. Since coming here, he's lost to Mosley, who was 13-1, and by disqualification to Showbox alum Delvin Rodriguez, who was 17-1-1. And all or nothing. Though he refers to himself as a boxer, Divison's record suggests he's the type who either gets his opponent early or gets gotten.
Well, Juan Buendia isn't inclined to take a step back. Alexis Divison is determined to start winning again. It's our opening bout on Showbox. And here's ring announcer Jake Gutierrez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lucky Star Casino here in Concho, Oklahoma for Showbox, the new generation. Presented by Gary Shaw Productions in association with Holden Productions and Showtime. Tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the Citizen Potawatomi Nation Professional Boxing Commission, Commissioner Joey Miller. The 3 judges scoring this bout will be Bobby Higdon, Gary Ritter, and David Sutherland. And your referee in charge is Gerald Ritter. This upcoming bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Introducing first, he'll be fighting out of the red corner. Correction, out of the blue corner. He's wearing the red trunks, and he weighed in at 150 pounds. His professional record, outstanding, with 16 victories, only 2 defeats. He has 13 big wins by knockout. From Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, here is Alexis Divison. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks, and he weighed in at 147.5 pounds. He is undefeated as a professional with 12 victories, no losses, 7 wins by knockout. From Durango, Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, here is the unbeaten Juan Buendia.
Okay, fighters. Okay, fighters, we're scheduled for 10 rounds. Obey my commands. Protect yourself at all times. Keep your punches up. I expect a good, clean fight. Touch him up. Go.
Divison with a 5-inch reach advantage. He says he'll capitalize. Also, Buendia coming in 3.5 pounds under the contracted limit. He's in great shape.
The ABC rules apply. No 3 knockdown, no standing 8. Can't be saved by the bell in any round. Our referee tonight, Gerald Ritter. We've seen him before on Showbox, and we'll see him again tonight. Juan Buendia is in the white. He will be coming forward. And look at this ring, ladies and gentlemen. Smallest ring we've worked on Showbox. It just inches in at the minimum 16 feet square. So these guys aren't going anywhere, Steve. And look at Buendia. Tall, should stay outside, got that reach as you mentioned.
Divison, I mean, yeah.
Or Divison, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the ring next, the tiny ring, postage stamp ring, definitely favors Buendia big time.
Buendia starting a little bit cautious, and it's a strategy they've been working on with Robert Garcia, who took over his training. Not to have to go in there and exhaust yourself throwing everything with such conviction, but now he's really snapping that jab and working behind it nice. And Divison wrapping to the body, and Gerald Ritter very aware that Divison's been DQ'd before, most recently, in fact.
That's right.
I'm already impressed, Steve, with Buendia. We didn't see the jab as much on the tapes as we're seeing it now.
You know what I don't like right away, though, Nick, and you see it perfectly right there. His elbows are way out. You know, he's holding his gloves up. He's very vulnerable to body shots because his elbows are not tucked in.
Oh, we see Divison loving to go to the body there. He bends down, gives up some height and reach, but still gets enough full extension.
Divison, a little bit more experienced, but he's been inactive, especially since coming to the U.S., and that's why he's really only had a few more rounds than the younger Buendia.
Now Divison coming out aggressively, too, and it's Buendia taking a step back as he finally tastes a couple of flush punches from the man in red, Divison.
Nick, if Divison can back up Buendia, he's got a great chance to win. Divison throws those long arm punches. They don't seem like they have leverage, but as is the case with a lot of tall guys, every once in a while he does get full leverage. And then he turns into Thomas Hearns. It just doesn't happen that often.
So he shouldn't really smother his power, Steve.
Exactly.
Could do very well on the outside, which he's doing now, coming in strong with that right hand behind that long jab.
Divison just likes to fight, you know, and negates his physical advantages by having that attitude.
What we saw from watching him is that he does start very quickly, and he's doing it again, trying to definitely control distance, dictate the tempo of his fight. Buendia, though, has felt some respect for Divison, it seems apparent, but he doesn't feel he could just blow right through him. Nice left hook by Buendia. He tries to follow up, but it seems to rattle Divison and ignite him into action. We talked about him wanting to brawl, especially when hit, and that seemed to come out in him right there.
Well, if these guys throw punches at the same time, Nick, Buendia is going to land first every time. Divison, when he throws an overhand right, I'm a little worried he's going to hit one of us when he reaches back.
Yeah. Oh, and here we see Divison backing up Buendia. Buendia content to fight off the ropes and out of the corner, winging punches. Pressure is his game, but at the bell they are going at it and have to be separated by Gerald Ritter.
Mira, te me estás ansiando. No tires de lejos, Juan. No tires de lejos. Métase primero. Manos arriba. No las tengas tan abiertas. Arrecórtalas un poquito más. ¿Ok? Respira. Profundo.
Take it easy.
No quiero que te mandes las cuerdas y que te pongas de espalda, Juan.
Go with your right. Go with your right.
Hombre muerto, no. De ladito. Si por algo son las cuerdas, ponte de ladito para que entren los golpes. ¿Ok? Para que puedas contestarle, ¿ok? Respire.
Lots of free swinging in this first round. And that time they did punch at the same time, and Buendia landed first.
Te levantas con el gancho, te puedes conectar con el gancho de él. No lo haga, ¿ok? Órale pues, póngase trucha, más vivo, ¿ok? Más trucha.
Steve, Robert Garcia, obviously, well, just looking at Buendia, he looks wired almost over the top a little bit in terms of energy. He's the last off the stool now, though. So will he lock it down a little bit, dial in? He's certainly not shaken, but he was taken out of his game plan. Every fight we've ever seen, he's the guy coming forward. But it was Divison and Red who backed him up in the first round here in Concho.
Well, Divison, Nick, is the kind of guy that, you know, he's reachable and you can get rid of him, but until you do, he's going to be in the fight winging. And Buendia hasn't really faced the best opposition so far, so this is a step up.
Well, here we go again, Steve. My mantra, if he works off the jab, Divison, he gets it done. It's been working for him so far.
Both you guys. Back, both of you. Box.
Now Divison backing up. Careful not to pull straight back, and Buendia trying to gather his momentum. Wild swinging there, tries to follow with a right hand that misses. And now Buendia in close quarters where he wants to be. Got to be careful, though, Steve. He gets backed off by Divison's offense.
And Buendia's got to be careful of the left hook because he drops his right hand all the time. Drops it after he jabs, which in this fight isn't really relevant because they're not jabbing. And he drops it after he throws his right hand. That's what Divison should be looking for.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the jab. Buendia came out jabbing, but he has abandoned it. He's power hitting all the way here. How much power he has is debatable, but he is undefeated. 7 KOs, 12-0. Divison's got to make it happen tonight. His 3rd U.S. appearance, meaning it's must-win for him. So he'll stand, duke it out here in the middle of the ring, and it's a small ring once again. And they are fighting like it's a 4-foot ring. It's 16, but it's good. They both engage here.
And Nick, you see Divison bending over at the waist, and the guy's 5'11". He's a huge fighter for this weight class, and he's just going down to Buendia's level.
Yeah, and when he gives it up that way, he really gets into that arm punching, doesn't he, Steve? He's just best with that full extension. Now he's trying to fight inside, not smother any kind of power. What makes this such an interesting fight to me, Steve, is neither guy has hellacious power. It doesn't look like, but they're throwing power shots all the time at each other.
I saw Divison buckle the knees of Delvin Rodriguez in that fight before he got DQ'd. Every once in a while, like I said, he has the power and from the leverage, the natural leverage he gets from being so tall and having those long, long arms. But the 5-inch reach advantage, Nick, that might as well not exist.
Exactly. Nice counterpunch from Divison. He tasted a shot, came back with a short, crisp left hand, and it made Buendia get a little riled up, but forced him to restart. So this is a nice brawl here, breaking out in Concho after 2.
Take your water. Drink your water. Lean back. Drink some water. Lean back. Just relax. Take air. Breathe. 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 Breathe deep.
The second round was a lot better for Divison. They're fighting on the inside because Divison wants to. That may seem strange when a fighter has a 5-inch reach advantage, but you see Divison very happy to stand there. That's his way. And he got a lot of good shots in, an uppercut, and then you see that left hook, which Buendia is very vulnerable to because he drops his right hand consistently.
3rd round, and the rounds are buzzing by here, Steve. We're in Concho, Oklahoma, Friday night. Juan Buendia undefeated. Knows he's in a fight, though. Alexis Divison has backed him up a couple of times.
Step back. Box.
Pretty even fight. How do you have it after 2?
I thought Buendia clearly won the 1st round. I gave the 2nd to Divison.
Love it. Now they stand and slug. Good trading, and you see Buendia getting a little bit of the worst of it. Just slightly, not getting discouraged. And as we talked about at the top, he's a difficult guy to discourage. But Divison's definitely gotten his regard here tonight. He can't take the kind of liberties we've seen him take against other guys because he's getting clocked. Divison in tight, not doing enough, and he's getting hit that way.
Divison's got to be, Buendia's got to be careful not to overextend. The best thing he can do, stay close, keep those elbows tucked in more than they are now, and work the body consistently. Don't be looking for the one-punch KO.
Does Buendia have any kind of evasion in your? Is he evasive to any degree, Steve, or is he just walking in with his face?
I think one of the reasons he's getting hit is because he tries too hard offensively. He's winging every shot. When you're a volume puncher, mix it up. You know, touch your guy, then bang hard. If you bang hard all the time, you're falling forward, you're off balance, and you get hit more.
He's banging to the body right now. Divison willing to engage him coming in, covering up with the gloves, and then wanting to battle in close here. I don't think it's a good idea. Wild shots. He looks off balance, giving up his reach again and smothering any kind of power. Now he's getting driven back by Buendia. I really don't know what Divison's strategy is here, Steve. I mean, it's obviously to be in close.
Yeah,
why?
He's just an aggressive guy, and I don't think he's ever been taught.
You're okay.
They're both one for butting there, but I don't think he's ever been taught to really utilize his height and reach. Little elbow there by Divison.
Buendia with some crunching body shots. Looking again, hook to the liver. He'll bend down. He loves that uppercut. Tried to end the fight with that. We've seen him knock people down with that uppercut. And Divison leaning in and ripe for the taking there with these little short shots. Divison looks like he's either running out of juice. He's electing to stand and take punishment. Very little coming back to discourage Buendia at all. And now Juan Buendia begins to take control of this fight. Divison is trying, but he's fighting the wrong fight.
Similar theme for Divison. This is the way he fought against Mosley and Delvin Rodriguez. Hellfire for a couple of rounds, then he starts slowing up and getting hit flush.
He looks tired, Steve, and they've only completed 3.
Que no hay mejor defensiva que la ofensiva. Tirando golpes, ¿qué pasó? Él ya no haya ni qué hacer porque no.
More offense.
Lo estás confundiendo.
More offense. More offense.
¿Qué? ¿Me estás oyendo? Respira. Respire.
Action from round 3. You'll see the butt. Boom, right there. And there is a cut on the left side of Buendia's head. Doesn't seem to be the kind of place that would cause any kind of major problems. And here they start brawling. Look at Divison bent over. Not holding, not firing back, trying to slip shots, but he gets hit a lot, and then he wakes up and hits him with a left hook. So that's Divison. Vulnerable, yet exciting until the end. And right now, that end is starting to look like it might be soon.
Le trabajaste mucho el cuerpo. Sigue haciendo lo mismo, ¿ok?
You see the doctor doesn't look overly concerned, but he has looked at that cut, see where Buendia's drawn blood.
Let's go.
Nothing serious at all.
Come on. Let's go.
Now Buendia first off the stool, and Alexis Divison doesn't look like he wants to fight.
Hey. You're going to step it up here.
They couldn't clear the corner. They didn't clear the corner in time, but Divison just walking in. They're just going for broke. It's almost desperation. It's clearly desperation for Divison. He knows he's not going to last, Steve, and he's going to get knocked out at this stage.
Both these guys been down once in their careers.
It may as well have been a knockdown. Divison has very little left. He's not lying in the woods here. He is seriously out of fuel, Steve.
Nick, you're 100% right. He slowly unravels. He just got hit with a big left hook to the stomach.
Yeah.
He slowly unravels. It's been his history.
And Buendia having his way right now, picking his shots. He's looking for that uppercut, trying to slam those shots through. Down on both knees goes Alexis Divison.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The fight's over.
Alexis Divison had about 2 rounds of fight in him, and it was taken out of him in the most emphatic way by the man you're looking at, the still undefeated Juan Buendia. As he came blasting through, figured he didn't have to walk through any kind of flames because Divison had very little on his shot, Steve.
Nick, I agree 100%. And the key to this fight, Buendia came in at 147. His manager, Cameron Duncan, who's in the picture there, told us there were a lot of fights this kid had where he just wasn't in shape. Way over 150. He's in shape now. His people say he can get down to 140 pounds, get rid of a little more baby fat, and by being in shape, he was able to outlast Divison. It was basically a brawl from round 1.
Yeah, it was really, he's exciting to watch. You know, pressure comes hard, never stops throwing. Divison did get his attention a couple of times in the first 2 rounds, and you had it even after 2. But after that, all downhill for this guy. He barely wanted to get off his stool to start the 4th round, and Buendia didn't even need to get second wind because, again, he forced Divison to fight every second, and here we see him closing it out.
Yeah, this is action from round 4. This is ruled a slip. It's the first knockdown. You see a right hand to the body. Divison was a little bit off balance. That's what the referee, Gerald Ritter, saw. But I'll tell you, looking at this replay, that right hand to the body caused that knockdown. And now later in the round, we're going to see the end. This is as much a surrender as is it a knockout. Divison just almost waiting. And the body shots did it. Take a look again. You'll see the body shots. That right hand to the body really caused both knockdowns. Divison in pain. I don't want to say he could have gotten up, but again, I think he surrendered as much as anything. Watch the right to the body.
You know, and to punctuate a theme on Showbox, Steve, you're looking at Alexis Divison. We knew very little about him other than he'd racked up wins over guys in Santo Domingo. We've seen people come out of foreign countries come here and become champions. It's happened before, but we see him get exposed, and it happened here in the United States. This was his third U.S. fight. Again, he had to make it happen now. They knew it. We all knew it, and it didn't happen at all, and he got unzipped here by that man, Juan Buendia. Jake Gutierrez will put a period on our opening fight here in Concho, Oklahoma.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Gerald Ritter reaches a count of 10 at 1 minute 2 seconds of the fourth round. The winner by knockout victory and still undefeated, Juan Buendia.
Juan Buendia, the clear winner here. 13-0, 8 stoppages. He rolls on. Steve made a great point. If he gets down and stays in shape at 140, he claims it's his best weight. He could be a full-fledged force in the junior welterweight division.
Well, Nick, there's no doubt he's an exciting fighter.